Hello, my name is Melissa Whitmer, and in this video, we're going to go through how to create Canvas quiz questions using screenshots from multiple exams that you have created. In this video, we'll also look at how to use a question group on Canvas quizzes to create variability with your test. So first, let's take a look at an example of an exam that I have created that has multiple question types and groups. So here is a quiz that I've created for a college algebra course. So in the questions, you can see that I have a group called Polynomials 1, and I have indicated that I want the system to pick one question graded at 10 points. And inside of this, you can see it's a similar question, but I have about 3 or 4 questions per group. So question 1 is where the students are going to be graphing a polynomial function. This one involves factoring. In question 2, they have a polynomial function that is already in factor form, but I have several different problems to pick from. So that way, when the student completes this quiz, they are getting different questions from other students in the class, but they all have the same amount of points when it's graded. So now that we have seen an example of a quiz that has question groups, this is also using screenshots, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a question group with screenshots from multiple exams. I have linked in the math tutorial site how to take screenshots. So I'm just going to show the website that's linked. This particular website goes through lots of different options for doing a screen capture. The one that I use all the time is this combo on my keyboard. It's the Shift, the Windows, and the S keys. So I got really good at kind of memorizing that with my fingers, and that allows me to kind of capture any type of screenshot from the test that I want to. So first, you'll need to know how to do a screenshot with your device. Now, let's set up a sample question group with the quiz. So I'm going into my quiz and I want to edit my quiz. So I want to click on questions, and I've already put in my header and footer from the math department instructional site. Now I want to add a question. So this will be at the bottom of your page. Now I want to actually do a new question group. So click new question group. And I can title this however I want to describe this. Maybe I just call it question 1. And here indicate how many questions from the group you would like them to solve. I'm going to have them pick one question. And I think this might be 10 or 12 points. I think I'm going to demonstrate a graphing question. Create the group. Now I'm going to drag this up to be between these header and footer questions. Now that I have my group started, I'm going to click in the group to add a question to this group. However, you could also add a new question and then drag it into the group. So add a question. So you could title it, I just leave it question. And then with my drop down here, if you're going to do a situation where you copy and paste, you might want to leave it as an essay question. So an essay question just means that students can actually type anything into this box that they want to, or you could do different kinds of responses, like maybe you want them to fill in the blank, maybe you want them to do drop downs. There will be other kinds of videos posted that will help you with these different options. First, how do we get an image into this space? So what I'm going to do is pull up 2 different exams that I've created. So here's one from one semester, and here's another from another semester. So you can see that if I match them up, it looks like the question 1 is going to be like the question 2 on this test. So these are similar questions here. And so I want to just quickly do a screenshot of this because I don't want to type all of that into the box. So I'm going to use that keyboard combo with the Windows icon button on my keyboard, the Shift and the S. So Windows Shift S if you have a Windows device, and your screen will gray out and you get this little icon or mouse that lets you to click and drag. So I'm going to click on the screen right here, drag it to include that graphic window, and then release. Okay, so I've captured that. Now you need to know like where to put this image. So you can't, unfortunately, directly paste this into that text box on Canvas. You're going to have to save that image and then upload it to the question. So the easiest program to use that most computers have is Paint or something similar. So I'm going to click on the program Paint. And it comes up with this blank palette. So I'm just going to do my Control V, or you can do File, and I think you can paste from here, or you might have to right click, I'm not sure. I always do Control D, or it might be from the clipboard, that's probably where it is. And that just pastes the screenshot that you just captured. Now you might want to hit the crop button, which is somewhere up in your list of tools, to sort of make sure if it's like a small image that it crops to the size of that image. So hit crop. Now I'm ready to save this image to my computer. So I'm going to hit File, Save As. You can do a PNG, a JPEG, all these different options. I'll just do a PNG picture. I'm going to choose my desktop. And I'm going to, you can call it untitled. When I do lots of different questions, I just call them all untitled, and I just grab the most recent screenshot that I made. So I'm just going to leave it untitled, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. So I'm going to minimize this. Okay, so then I'm going to go into my Canvas quiz. And now I'm ready to upload that image. So in your toolbar here, above your text box, select the image icon. So if you hover your mouse, you'll see images. If you click the little drop down, you can upload an image or select one that's already uploaded into your course. If you just click on the picture, it defaults to uploading the image. And you can drag it, or you can just click there. And I have my File Explorer set up where it's going to always pull up the most recent. So if you organize it that way, it's super easy to find it. Click on Date and make sure that it's organized with the most recent date down. And there's my untitled image. Double click. There it is. I don't put any text on there, or you could. And then hit the blue button to submit. So there's my image right there for my first question. So you have the option, if you want to enter with your keyboard, and if you want to add additional information or do something to format it, you can. You can also center the image if you select it and go to the formatting here, and you can select it to align center or left or right. So I'm happy with this. Notice that it's 10 points each. So I would need to maybe adjust my questions or, cut that out of the particular instruction. So update the question, that's important. And you should now see that displayed, and it also should be inside of that group. Okay, so for variability, maybe I want to add a second question. So the goal is, as you teach each semester, maybe you can update your quiz and add a new question per group, just to increase that variability each semester. So I'm going to add a second question. So notice it's the problem type, so I want to make sure I get a similar question to this one. Click at the grouping title here to add, and it's down below. It's a question. I'm just going to leave it as an essay question. And I need to go back to my Word document with my exams and grab a screenshot of that other question. Okay, so I've so far screenshotted this test question from fall 2021. Now I want to go to this other one from 2016, and this is a similar question here. So I'm going to do my Windows Shift S, and I'm going to grab a screenshot. So notice this one doesn't have those instructions with it. So I might need to type that into that box if I want those instructions to be displayed. So go back here, Oh, but I got to do Paint. So I'm just going to pull up the Paint program, and already has that other screenshot there. So watch this. Just hit Control V. It'll paste right on top of it, which looks kind of weird. Crop it. So if you crop, it'll just crop it to that image that you most recently pasted. Do File, Save As, PNG, select your desktop, keep it untitled. It'll ask you, do you want to replace it? Yes, because I'm done with that other image. Now I can go into my quiz box and I can click on that image icon to upload the image. Click on that, double click the untitled. There's my image, submit, and then I'll see that appear once it loads. Update the question. So if you look at your variability, now you have two different similar questions for that first group. So you can continue doing this for as many questions as you would like. Now, if I want to edit, I can click on the pencil icon. So maybe I want to add some instructions here, which is a good idea. So it's a really good idea. If you notice on my other quiz, I put more instructions like show all work and answer each question on your own paper, because my students are going to be doing the graph on their paper and they're going to be showing the work there, and they're not showing it in the Canvas quiz. So you can edit, and you can go to the top of that image and you can type some text like show all work and graph on your own paper. You can double click to select that message. You can change the font size. You can highlight it if you'd like to. You can click here to change the color of the font. So you have lots of options for what to do, but it's a good idea for every test question, you know, to indicate to the students how you want them to show work, whether they're going to be writing it on their paper or maybe you want them to type some work into the box. You can also Control C to copy that text, and you can go into the other one and edit that, and Control V to paste it there so that they all say the same thing. It's really important once you have edited your quiz and added some questions that you scroll down to the very bottom and select the blue save to make sure that you saved all of these updates. Now I want to check out, what does this look like? So I'm going to preview, and I haven't set up Proctorio yet for this exam. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you are obviously using Proctorio, preview it without the Proctorio setting on there, have that turned off so that you can get a good idea of what it looks like. So here's my question details, and then I have my header, and then there is my question one. So notice that it's only showing me one of those questions. I could see that it's worth 12 points. And I do have a box here that I can like type in some work. So the student has that option maybe if they would like to type in some of these final answers, but it does indicate that they have to graph and show work on their own paper, especially for factoring or any work that they need to solve. So there's that type of tutorial. How do we create a question group? How do we use screenshots from multiple exams to create variability? So when you're finished previewing, you go back to the top, keep editing the quiz, and then you can still add more questions, or you can just save your quiz. I would not publish the quiz until you have completely got it the way that you like it and it's ready to go. So happy quiz creating. We'll have more tutorials available to show how to do other types of quiz questions.